Well, she seems keen on a second referendum, and indeed, more than 500 people across the county who voted Leave in the 2016 referendum, we're told, have written to their MPs to demand a public vote on Brexit. Many say they bought into and believed the Leave campaign, but have since become disillusioned. I know what you're saying. If you're a Leaver, you're saying, oh, it's propaganda from the Remain camp, or if you're a Remainer, you're saying, well, yes, who blames them? But we can hear now from one of them, Leon French. So what is it then, Leon? Are you a true Leaver who's seen the light, or is this all part of the Remain propaganda?
I wish it was part of Remain propaganda, because then I would assume I'd be being paid for it. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm not being paid for anything. I'm saying these things because I actually believe them. The analogy I like to use is if you go and buy a new car and you're sold this nice, lovely, shiny looking thing, lovely seats and everything, drives quite fast, and the thing that they bring round is some rusty old bucket with wheels falling off. You don't just carry on with it because you went with the intention of getting a new car. If you've been missold, as I feel we have done, you demand the right to come back from it and say, well, no, that's not what I asked for. And I think with Brexit looking the way it is, it's hated by Leavers, such as myself, who voted to leave. Whether we go with Theresa May's deal or no deal, it's not what many Leave voters actually voted for.
Okay, well, Leon, what was it about the shiny new car then that made you vote Leave in the first place?
Because I believe the idea of, Britain had lost a certain amount of sovereignty by being a member of the European Union. I liked the idea of Britain being able to strike new trade deals around the world. These were things I passionately believed in. I know a lot of people have strong opinions on immigration. I personally don't really care about that, to be quite honest with you. However, it fed into the idea of taking back control. However, what I seem to have noticed since this has all come about, though, is that Britain's not in control. We saw this with the European Council meeting, with Theresa May sat outside the room. And if that's an image of taking back control, then I'd rather lose control.
But that's the whole point of leaving Europe. We no longer are part of Europe, so we don't sit at the top table with the Europe making the decisions. We are independent, but we make our own decisions, and we strive ahead in the brave new world.
Well, North Korea is independent and makes its own decisions, but I'm sure we don't want to replicate North Korea. The end goal, really, if your end goal is total sovereignty, then you're looking at a North Korea kind of state, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it's not what we want at all. The point that I make about Theresa May being sat outside the room is essentially we've got our Prime Minister, whilst we are a member of the European Union, sat outside while the EU 27 are making decisions for us. We should be, going forward, sat inside the room, influencing those decisions, because whether we're...
But Leon, that's a Remain argument. I mean, that was the whole point of the Remain card. I mean, that was, would we rather be inside an organisation influencing it or outside with no influence?
No, absolutely. But I think the fact of the matter is, what we've seen now is the reality of this. We've seen that we have no choice. People are saying, oh, the EU are deciding for us. Well, yes, that is what we voted for. And the fact that for people like me, who did vote to leave, are now seeing this and thinking, oh, well, actually, not quite right, that. I'd much rather be in the room making influencing those decisions as well.
So you're looking for a second referendum?
Oh, absolutely. As I say, we know more about what Brexit is going to be looking like. We know that it's hated. If we go with Theresa May's deal, it's hated by everyone. If we go with no deal, it's not really anything a majority voted for. I don't think there's any evidence that suggests the majority of Leave voters wanted no deal. It wasn't mentioned by the Leave campaign. They said that a deal would be the easiest deal in history. I think Liam Fox said a trade deal with the European Union would be the easiest trade deal made in human history. I think it were his words.
I think those were his words. I think they were, yeah. Listen, we'll leave it there, Leon, so I can see that it'd be interesting to see what reaction you spark, and see if the Leavers listening will come back at you on that one. But listen, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much for talking to us today.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Cheers now. Leon French then, a Leaver, but now a Remainer after he's seen what the deal is on offer.